My name is Isabella Izzy Matthews. I'm 55 years old now. When I look back on my life, I see two halves. One shining, glamorous, full of applause. The other quiet, empty, full of silence. Once, I was a model. A high-end runway model in New York, Los Angeles, Paris. I walked for fashion houses, magazine covers, commercials. I had the world's spotlight. But behind every shimmering photo and glamorous show was a woman longing for love and belonging. I didn't grow up rich. My mother worked as a seamstress. My father was long gone before I remember. I dreamed of beauty, recognition, and a life that would erase the emptiness I felt. At age 22, I got discovered by a modeling scout in a small cafe in Manhattan. Within months, I was walking in Milan Fashion Week, and soon I was a regular name in the pages of Vogue and Harper's Bazaar. I lived in penthouses, traveled first class, and was surrounded by success. I had a life many envied, but something was missing. A family, a purpose beyond cameras and lights. That opportunity came when I met Daniel Carter. He was a successful architect in Boston. He had 2 children, Ethan, aged 8, and Olivia, aged 6, from his first marriage. His wife had passed away years ago in an illness. People warned me, "You're a model. Can you shift roles and become a mother and wife?" I replied, "If I have to, I will. They deserve love. And I want a family." So I said goodbye to many of my contracts. I scaled back. Moved in with Daniel and the kids in Boston. I wanted to be their stepmother, but more than that, I wanted to be their mother. I gave up my runway shows, my glamorous parties, my modeling life, everything for them. And at first, it was beautiful. I cooked breakfast for Ethan. I packed Olivia's lunch. I helped with homework, bedtime stories, school projects. I was present. I was there. But love, as I learned, doesn't always respond just because you give it. Over the years, the glow of my modeling past dimmed. I did small commercial shoots when needed, but mostly I focused on family. I became their financial pillar when Daniel's work slowed. I covered mortgages, tuition, extracurriculars, college prep, all from my savings and investments. There were nights I stayed up worrying, can I continue this? Am I enough? But I told myself, yes, for them, I must be enough. But children, even good children, grow up. They have their insecurities, their teenage rebellions, their reasons to push away. Ethan started having resentment. He saw me as not his real mother. When he was a teenager, he would blame me. "You don't understand me." Olivia, too, would sometimes break down in tears. "Why do I feel different? Why do people look at us?" I held them when they cried. I apologized when I was wrong. I tried to bridge the distance. Daniel and I had our ups and downs too. But I believed that love could hold us together. Then one dreadful night, everything changed. Daniel died suddenly in a car accident. The shock rocked our world. In the weeks after, I barely slept. I cried until my eyes burned. But I knew I had a responsibility to keep the children safe, to continue their lives. I made a vow. I would dedicate every cent I had, every ounce of strength I had, to them. So I sold off many assets, properties, investments, and funneled everything into their future. Their education, their dreams, their stability. I told myself, this is what I owe them. This is what love demands. The sacrifices were heavy. I let go of my luxuries, my social life, my echo of identity. I became just their stepmother in public. At home, I was their only parent. I restructured my life around them. I bought a modest home in the suburbs. I worked freelance design projects. I skipped vacations. I gave them all I had. Years passed. Ethan went to a top university in California for engineering. Olivia fell in love with art and moved to Seattle for her design studies. Both were ambitious, talented. I was proud. I poured money into their tuition, visas, apartments, startup business ideas. I always told them, I believe in you. At first, they called me frequently. They visited often. We celebrated holidays, birthdays, small things. But as time went on, the calls became infrequent. Visits became rare. Their lives got busy. Careers, relationships, circles of friends. I understood. I had prepared for this. I had braced myself. But understanding isn't the same as feeling. In quiet nights, I would lie awake listening to silence. I would scroll old photos, Ethan as a boy, Olivia with paint on her fingers, birthdays we celebrated together. I tried to reach out. How are you? Can we have dinner sometime? But responses were short, polite. They were kind, but distant. No one ever asked me, Mom, how are you doing? In public, I'm just Mrs. Carter, Isabella, Ethan, and Olivia's stepmother. But inside, I carried the heart of a mother who had given everything. Now, at 55, I live in that modest suburban home. My modeling days are gone. My face is lined with time and tears. I drive a simple car. I shop at ordinary stores. Sometimes I volunteer at a local nursing home, help in community centers, keep busy. So I don't have to face the emptiness. I have a few acquaintances, distant friends. But no one calls me at night. No one knocks on my door unannounced. The birthdays, the holidays, I celebrate quietly, alone. I send myself flowers when they forget. People sometimes ask, why didn't you remarry? Why live alone? I smile and say, my heart chose a different path. Every day I wake up thinking, what if they remembered me? What if they saw me now? I read their social media updates. I see their lives, careers, successes, friends, families. I feel proud, but also hollow. Because they're living, and I'm just waiting. Some nights tears come unbidden. I whisper to the darkness, I gave you everything. Where are you now? No answer. Only silence echoes back. Tonight, I'm recording this story, hoping someone, somewhere, will hear me. Because even if they forget, maybe someone else won't. Maybe someone who watches this will understand the true weight of love and sacrifice. I don't expect them to ever come back to me. But I wish they would look at old photos, remember that there was a woman who loved them like a mother, even when she wasn't one by birth. If there's one thing I want you, dear listener, to know, motherhood isn't about blood. It's about giving. It's about staying, even when you're ignored, even when you're forgotten, because love doesn't always get reciprocated, but it is still love. So I close now with no regrets. I did what I felt was right, and even if, in the end, I'm alone, my heart knows I gave all I could.